Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Boy, Big Hurdy here. Man, I'm just chilling tonight. I'm just chilling tonight. We about to do a little reaction. Kick back and chill. I got the chats open. Keep the conversation going. I don't know, anybody ever heard of Jubilee before? Jubilee, it's a thing I've been fucking with on YouTube. It's a good little channel. And they be talking about some shit on there. So we about to definitely do a reaction to that. Let me pull that up here in a second. Oh man. Should everybody tap in, yo? About to pull that up. Yeah, we smoking tonight too, man. What y'all smoking on? There we go. Do all white people think alike? White people have culture.
We're all technically white. You're from England, if you're from Australia, if you're from wherever, South Africa. You know, we all have these crazy places we come from, and these people are around, and we get those ideas from those people. But that doesn't mean us as a whole have no culture.
But as a white person, it's not really a culture. You can have culture, like I'm hella Irish, obviously, and that's a culture. But just being white is not it's not a culture. I can't relate to you just because you're white.
I think we can say that for any ethnicity, though. If we were all black, could I relate to you guys? If just because of the color of our skin?
You goddamn right. Because
Yes,
niggas know what niggas is thinking.
Experiences, like they'll get discriminated against, and you're not getting discriminated against because of your skin color. They can both relate to that.
But I also feel like with culture,
Hey, he like
we branch
black
out and
girls.
try different things. We want to do different things. So maybe we've lost a little bit of our culture. Maybe we're creating a new culture. There you go.
I don't know if I
Okay,
I'll stay here. Then.
Reverse racism is like someone being racist against you because you were white. Like, do you believe that someone can be racist against a white person?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I grew up where it was completely
Yeah.
like Hispanic culture. I was constantly made fun of because I was white. Oh, white people can't dance. White people look stupid. Whatever.
They shouldn't say white people can't dance, but they can.
No, yeah, I
They
can't
shouldn't say
dance.
it.
White people can dance.
But I mean, like,
Can't
being
dance.
honest though, like they would say those mean things to me, and more hurtful things than that. It's like the hard pill to swallow because if I turned around and said black people can't dance, I'd get hell for that. But then if someone says the same words to me, it's somehow okay because
You have to look at the difference of it, though. And I relate to you. I grew up with all Latino or black friends. I had very few white friends. And yeah, I got made fun of for being like the white girl. I was gringa. And I didn't take offense to it because the huge part about racism is that there's hate and oppression behind it. And as a white person in America, I do not feel oppressed.
And I personally think that we should take the log out of our own eyes before worrying about the sawdust of other people's. Like, I totally agree with that, but there is sawdust, so that's kind of
What?
For me, I feel like anything we do can come out racist to any other type of race. But at the same time, if they say something mean or racist to us that we feel is racist, it kind of gets brushed off.
I might think of the word.
Okay, she sound like a whiny little bitch. You didn't say something that honestly. You can take that on the chin, bro. You gotta take that on the chin. Nothing we could possibly say to you could ever make you feel as close to what we feel when you're trying to be negative.
Racism, I think, more towards oppression, so that's why me and the disagree. Like, I'll deal with someone just being mean to me, but whatever.
I think it's important to focus on race in order to bring us together. There is a race issue in America, and if we just avoid it altogether and pretend like it's not happening, nothing's going to change, in my opinion.
I kind of was thinking about the question differently because if all I'm thinking about when I meet someone is not white. Like, that's for me, that's like what focusing on race is. Yeah, they're never gonna be happy unless we just like all work together, just like treat each other like each other. You know, like there is no race.
Yeah.
I wish the people they got on these interviews could speak articulately. Like, it really looked like some college kids that literally just got out from a night party. Like, shut the fuck up.
Anybody, I think we need to like to respect each other's backgrounds and like that as a community.
I'm drinking wine out of Zelda cup too.
We do like appreciate everybody's differences.
I think cultural appropriation is very real. You see all the time, like Coachella. You know, we're in LA, and you see people in the Native American headdresses without knowing how important that is to Native people.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's a difference between respecting the culture and completely disrespecting the culture. But then also, if you want to dress up and have like a geisha dress up and have a country like that, I wouldn't say.
I wouldn't do that. I think if you're gonna go and dress up as a geisha without knowing the importance of it, and just being like, well, this is cute, like I'm gonna put this on. And also, if you did know the importance, and you're like, I don't know, Halloween is just like a weird holiday to be dressing up as anybody else's culture.
Halloween ain't that bad.
Any costume.
Chill out.
Are you gonna tell a 6-year-old
Halloween
girl
is
she can't
fun.
dress up like a pirate because she doesn't know the history of pirates? Like, that's scary. What? So it's just like.
That's very different. Those are children.
I think it's a lot about culture because I think wearing that thing at Coachella, like I feel like I would see that as that person mocking someone.
Well, even if they don't intentionally do it, it's
Yeah.
still offensive.
The only reason I'm at somewhat scary is because a lot of my favorite rappers use it frequently.
White people, y'all know y'all be saying nigga in the car, bro. It's okay. It's okay.
Like, I'm not sitting there thinking all these horrible things about black people, and I'm like, it's just in the song, and when I'm singing, it comes out.
There's like two different forms of the word. There ends with an ER and with an A. And like with my
And that
friends,
ER
they're
get you
like,
fucked
say
up
it with
too,
an A,
cuz.
like that won't hurt my feelings. But also like even when I'm in the car by myself, like I still feel like it's not like maybe I'll like whisper it like with an A at the end, you know, like if I'm by myself, but like out of respect for other people, I just think it's more appropriate not to say it at all.
Do you guys think rappers should stop putting it in their songs?
Fuck
I
no.
feel like if
The fuck
I
no.
think it's wrong though.
I don't think it's wrong because the history of the N-word, slave owners would call black people as.
She
the
sound like she
N-word
about to say
with the
niggas.
R at the end.
She about to say slave owners used
Black
to call
people
them
wanna take
niggas
that word
niggas.
and claim it as their own and claim that painful history and like be like, F you, like I'm gonna claim this word. I think they should be allowed to do that. I don't think as a white person I have that right to take a word that was derogatory towards them. They should 100% have the right to do that.
But do you think it's okay for a white person to sing the song?
See, that's where we're like all on the fence. Like I feel like
It's a word used as like my friend basically, and like just like she said, if they want to take that back from its horrible origins.
He like black girls. I've
I've
never seen a white dude stick up to niggas so much.
Yeah, but I have a question. If
He
you,
likes the
if
black
they didn't
cocaine.
put it in their songs, you wouldn't say it, right? So are they causing people to say that word more often? Because she wouldn't say it if
It's
it
not
wasn't.
white people's place to tell them what they can and cannot use. So
My nigga. My nigga.
It's so sad to say because I never say it out loud, but it's the truth. Is like getting pulled over by the police. I always feel like I have a little bit of a one-up because I'm white, because I'm a woman, and I feel so bad that that's the truth. But this is a real thing, and it's unfortunate.
For me, as an individual, I feel like I'm not privileged. Sure, like white people background came from like being higher up on the scale, but I've gone through really hard things before. You know, I don't feel like I'm superior over other people. So as an individual, I don't feel like
You
I'm
dress
privileged.
like
I
you think you're
privileged,
superior
I guess
over other
I don't
people.
really think that I'm above other people. I just
Your
think
choice
that
of
naturally
outfit
I'm
says differently.
yeah, it's like perception. It's just perception.
Yeah, I think that's a huge misconception. I have privilege that I didn't ask for it. It's just society sees me as like the standard for whatever reason, and because of that, I get treated differently. And white privilege, like you said, it's not about what you've gone through or what you experienced. It's 100% how the world sees you.
Thank you, Becky.
I don't listen to that too. It's like
I think like guiltily, like I'm like happy that I'm not oppressed, but I'm
She's
not
happy
proud
that she's not black.
Things
That's really what
people
motherfucker wanted to say. I'm happy I'm not black.
Proud of something. I think it's something I worked for, or that I had to do nothing to be white. Absolutely nothing, and nothing was taken from me because I was white.
It's like saying I'm a proud white person is a completely different saying than saying I'm a proud black person. Because when you hear I'm a proud black person, I think empowerment, I think strength, I think courage, I think all these amazing things the black community has done and accomplished throughout the years. But then when you say I am a strong or I'm a proud white person, already there's so much like hate involved in that.
thing about that is like how you said.
It
someone
do
who says,
sound
"I'm proud
funny
be
to
black,"
hear
that's
that, though.
empowerment. Why aren't I allowed to be proud to be white? What makes it wrong?
Yeah, what are you proud of? Just your skin color? Because yes, that is wrong.
So you're
So,
saying I can't be proud to be white because I don't have a culture?
No, that's not what it was.
You mad.
White people saying they're proud to be white, a lot of times, at least in my opinion, they're talking about their skin color, that they're not a different race. I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
But as like when we're talking about a black person, they've been oppressed, that a lot of their culture was stolen from them. And a lot of reasons that I don't like proud to be white is because it has the Nazis used it, the KKK used it. I don't want to be associated with any of those things, so I'm just gonna completely stay away from that.
Sure, I'm not proud of like what my culture's done, but at the same time, like I would not want to be anything else. If I had to choose another race, I don't know what I would be. I'm okay with where I am, even though I'm getting backlash about being white.
Like Starbucks. How many of you are vegan?
Hey guys, this is John.
And I'm Erin.
That's
Thank you so much for
hilarious.
watching this episode of Spectrum. We hope you enjoyed the discussion. Let us
That's
know what you
something that
thought
you
in the
need to
comments
watch.
below.
And if you'd like to watch more of our videos, click here to subscribe.
And we'll see you next time.
Cops versus ex-felons.
You, my friend.
Make sure
the
y'all
first thing
subscribe
you
to
said
this
to me when I
page,
sat
too.
down
It's called
was,
Judo.
"Oh my God, you look like somebody I arrested
I
before."
fuck with this
Dude, I've
shit,
known you for like 2
man.
minutes.
I don't really like the guests that much, though. I feel like they could get better guests that's more in tune with really what the fuck they said. Some of this shit be sounding a little scripted, but it's cool. It's cool. Oh, shit.
Apparently people are a lot braver than I am, so, they're a lot more comfortable with their stories. Just more excited to be here. More so, it's, our situations that you're kind of conditioned like, you guys are the enemy. I don't know how you guys feel about us, or, I've never had a deeper conversation with law enforcement.
Probably from the whole point of view is that it doesn't always seem like the justice system is fair. I think that when you find that, like, it's people who truly love this job and this work, that you strive to find that balance and fairness.
I'm puzzled by what he's saying because I've never heard anything like this before. Because I mean, if it's true what you're saying, then how come police aren't policing police? Why are you standing idly by while your fellow officer is shooting and killing unarmed black people? Why is that happening? right, and I sold the shit on drugs. And
Nigga look like me so
I didn't have
drugs.
family. I
Okay.
never, I mean, I grew up in foster care. I didn't have any type of family. But I fucking knew that when I went to prison, I knew I didn't want to come back to this shit. You know what I'm saying? So while I was in prison, I knew I needed to start there and develop the issue. I found myself in 1989.
I chose to commit my own crimes when I was young. I wanted the violence. I could have easily chose to do something else, but I was always there when people.
I was thinking about between my professional life or my personal life.
That's your life.
Okay, okay, you can tell me please.
I think that it's one of those things where like you look at, for instance, have I killed anybody? Have I robbed anybody? Have I like all these things that no one has done? Have I spent? Absolutely.
You know what I hear is you're telling me there's levels of legality. I mean, I used to be sort of on that end too. Like I grew up well. I went to private schools. I mean, I'm not somebody like with stereotype as somebody gone to prison. And then I've gone to prison and I just find out how fucked up the system is. I mean, what about the guy who goes out, has dinner, and has a drink, ends up spending 7 or 8 years in prison because somebody started a fight with them? But then I meet people in prison who shot somebody in the back of the head execution style and only got 10 years for it. Whereas for me, I spent 13 years in prison because somebody was hurting my family, and I thought like, okay, well, we're gonna go get our stuff back from this person. And I get conspiracy to commit robbery, conspiracy to, use a gun, which added another 10 years, and nothing ever happened. Nobody got hurt. Like, maybe it's cultural, maybe it's, I grew up where, like, you defend your family, and yeah, like, was it a bad mistake? Sure. You should ask the question, like, why did you stop listening? What cops to help solve this issue? Because, you know what, like, from my experience growing up, cops don't help. They just come by, show up, make a great show of doing their jobs, and then leave. But I'm just saying, there's no consistency in the system. It makes no sense. It depends on which county you go to, which judge you show up in front of. It's a political game. That's not justice. I mean, I would like to see that, there would be some consistency. If I go to LA County or San Diego or wherever, that the same crimes would carry the same time. There would be some consideration for, a situation. I don't think there is.
The criminal justice system truly does help to protect societies. If we did not have it, then there wouldn't be chaos.
Well, it may not be perfect right now, but we need the justice system, and we have to.
Do we
For some
though?
reason, it just seems to me that if you're from a blood-driven
Do we really need the justice system, honestly?
when I was fighting my case,
I mean, I remember a
I
time
had
where
somebody
people
who
like govern
was
themselves.
fighting the same crime that I committed for an attempted murder. He came back and said that the judge gave him 1 year with 2 strikes. I don't know how that went about. For me, I ended up getting 10 years for 1 strike. And his family was wealthy.
Did you have fighters? Did you have fighters?
I had no brothers. I just didn't understand why is it that, your family has more money. It's easier to get off the
A lot of times I saw that
You know
if you
what I'm
have
I know niggas that's been in jail because they couldn't come up with
Yes, I've
$500.
got a chance of getting off than having
And their family couldn't come up with $500 in the pitch, and they did 10 plus years.
criminal justice
That's
system,
crazy.
But that's how it is right now, and then I don't know how to address that issue. So I guess that's
it shouldn't be a game. It shouldn't be a game with people's lives. Like how can I get this win? How can I negotiate a win with this person's life?
At the end of the day, man, it's all about money and it's about numbers. There's no money in rehabilitation, man.
No.
There's money in facilities. There's
Yes.
money in.
If I can give up my job as a result of no other people going to jail, which means that they would actually stop committing crimes. I would do that.
Oh yeah, but there's not too many people like you.
If we had a system full of guys like you, that'd be
That's
awesome.
That's,
I think that's again, see what you just said is that's the perception you have. It's not a harm.
It's not. It's a reality for us. For me, when I was inside it, the nonprofit that I worked for, we had, the programs in there. And this is a class that is going to help them, actually do something with their lives. Every evening, while the guys are going to class, like they get harassed. Then we come out of class and all the cops are lined up, like get on the wall, strip search, tear up the textbooks, tear up their personal property, their homework. Like, yeah, that's how the system is. Like on the way out of prison, officers were telling me like, I'll see you back on the next one. You know, like that's fucking bullshit.
Nigga, they got to know your ass.
Out of everybody in the circle, then he was the first one to actually voice the fact that he made choices. It's in that moment that they claim dominion over themselves. So I appreciate that.
I don't know how to feel about that. I don't think any one of us right here sat here and say like I didn't make my own choices. I understand I made my own choices. I got myself my own time.
Oh yes.
I get the sense that you do too. I think the larger issue is that the system is broken, and I that's what I have a problem with. I don't have a problem with taking ownership of my actions. It's society not taking ownership of its own creation.
And I hope you don't agree with that. He was the one who has all
Of course.
Yeah. I will ask you this, and I'll challenge you. Do you know who your representative is to? You never contacted your office. You never contacted your congressman. And I suggest that you should. And here's the thing, because you strike me as a very smart individual that has the ability to go and influence.
That shit pisses me off. I hate when people
I just
says
think
like
that
you look like a
take a
smart
walk in our
person or
shoes.
you talk
You
so
know, like,
well. Like, that
and
shit
I don't mean
bothers
any
the fuck out of me.
disrespect by this,
That
but
really do.
you sound like a law enforcement pamphlet. You know, like you sound like every perfect thing that they want you
Banging
to
the
say.
fuck out
It's
this
kind of
road,
like
Chad,
when
the
you work in
road.
a company and the CEO says, this is the policy. But when you're on the ground level, you know that there are certain things that just doesn't work in reality. I think you have, great views, and I think if you had, law enforcement, like just a team of law enforcement that is exactly like you two, that have the same views, like, it would be great. But I also think that there is reality. When you come out of prison, everything's just so stacked against you. Like
That's that commonality. So like when I talk about the truth, I had people that told me when there were all these rules and regulations, and when I got out, there was nobody there. The same thing happens in prison. You have to break out of prison mind mentality.
there's a difference between and I agree with you, there's a lot of similarities, there are a lot of commonalities with prison and the military. However, when you're in the military, you're told you're the men of this country, you're the defenders of this country, you're men. When you go to prison, we were told that we're pieces of shit, we were told that we're animals, and when you've gone through a decade of that, it gets in your head. Inside your mind, it's like, who am I? Like, who am I to think that I can do these things? It turns you into nothing. It makes you believe that you're nothing, that you can't do it. And that's something that you can't put into, LAPD policy, and that's what the justice system does to you. It breaks you.
I can tell you this. Me looking at you, I don't see any of that. Talk about it. I would hope for you, for actually all of you. But you guys are able to see those boundaries that happen. Because that's why at the end of the day, if you have one line to live, it's going to be better than one mistakes you make that.
Justice system. I honestly believe that they have a structure in place that can help the people who are running it are the ones that just
I think it needs a lot of work. I think the resources put into a lot of the wrong places. And I'm not okay with saying, well, this is what we got, so let's try to work with it. Like, no, I think that there should be moves to try to improve the system. Like, I don't think we should ever be content.
Like I say, unfortunately, when the budget crisis happens, training is the first one that goes out the door. I think being able to train. If that training saved one life, it's worth it.
I also think communication to build a unity in the community. That way, that trusting one another, able to work with one another with all the challenges that's going on in this chaotic world.
I learned nothing from that. It sounded like a bunch of bullshit. I learned absolutely nothing from that. Let's see what else they got over here.
Hey guys, much appreciation.
Can Satanists and major religions see eye to eye? I have to watch this. Oh my god.
Oh, hey, are you going a little stir crazy during quarantine?
Alright,
That's okay.
cool.
We've got some announcements and ways that you can stay connected. We're casting for an upcoming series called The Link. We want to challenge you to reconnect and reach out to someone. It could be a family member that you had a falling out with, or even a friend that you need to ask for forgiveness. If you're interested, please sign up for the link below.
And just a reminder, we have prom coming up April 17th. Don't forget to RSVP in the link down below and follow us on Instagram.
Hello, bitch, get to the video.
The invitation that God gives to the people that He made is so generous and came at such a high price to
A high
Him.
price he gave up
that,
a weekend.
That
He gave up a weekend.
right.
Can Satanists and religious people see eye to eye? And now they put that music in the
I
background,
am a
trying to make the shit
Presbyterian
extra creepy.
pastor.
I'm a Hindu.
I'm Muslim.
Hi, I'm Lois. I'm a Satanist.
What?
To
Get
be
the
honest,
fuck
when I
out
heard
of here.
Satanist, my first reaction was something that does not align with my core beliefs.
I think of like a lot of darkness and evil and lostness.
When I think of Abrahamic faith, I think of slaughterings and burnings and mutilations, all in the name of God.
This
For myself,
nigga
I don't
way
actually
too
have
dramatic.
an image or a person or a thing that I think of when I think of Satan. The Arabic word for Satan is shaitan, is what's whispering in your ear in a sense of trying to lead you away from God.
A little bit more about the Temple of Satan. What is it?
One of the things I like about it personally is that they are actively fighting to make sure that every religion has a chance to have a say right now in this country.
I'm approaching this with a spirit of curiosity, love to ask questions and hear more about the perspectives of the people that I'm going to be talking to.
And as for the major religions, I hope to understand why they stayed within their religion if they were born into it, or I hope to understand how they justify their beliefs.
My name is Sean Kendall. I'm a Presbyterian pastor. I'm married to my wife Kelly, and we have 3 children.
I'm Amr Isa. I'm 19 years old. I'm Muslim. I was born and raised in a Muslim household. Muslim my whole life. It's a big part of who I am.
My name is Jason Turgeon. I'm 33. I'm a Satanist. I was raised Christian.
Now, why do the Satanists have to look like Satanists though? Like,
My name is
it's like fitting the description way too well, my boy.
And I moved here for grad school, and currently I'm a director at Jubilee Media. And
I'm Lois. I'm 23, and I'm a Satanist, and I was raised Jewish.
My name is Richard Lane.
I like her.
I'm older than I like to tell people. I'm a Satanist. I was raised Christian.
Get him the fuck out of here, man. This is the shit I'm talking about. It's the clown shit.
There on the left.
This is some clown shit right here.
Religions on the right.
This nigga's clearly putting on for the act.
Hell is a real place.
I don't actually know, when I try to think of what hell looks like to me, I don't think it's how it's been in movies or people just talk about some fiery inferno. I believe in an afterlife where there is a good place and a bad place, where what you do here kind of determines where you're going to end up.
Yeah. One of the signs that there is something greater than us out there is that we see something beautiful that we want someone to express our thanksgiving to and our worship towards. And in the same way, on the opposite end of the spectrum, when there are terrible deeds or acts that are committed by humans towards one another, that there also needs to be a place of justice. And so I believe that there is a heaven and that there is a hell, and that the gift of grace that God offers us is so generous that for those who reject it, that there has to be a place of judgment. So,
Can I disagree or you can come in?
Personally, I would never worship God
Shut the
or
fuck
send
up.
someone to an eternal lake of fire to be burned forever for the simple fact of non-belief, when that deity knows what it would take to convince every single person on this planet. That is cruel, it is inhumane, it is not kind, it is not generous, and that is not a God worthy of worship.
What's more, it would be damning the vast majority of everyone who's ever existed for not believing in him for a set of rules that he created.
To be fair, I feel like this presupposes that to burn in hell means that you don't believe in God. I'm sure that there are religions, and I know that there are people who believe that hell is a place for murderers, you know. And when I was Jewish, we didn't believe in hell. They didn't even talk about the devil. I just kind of came upon it myself. I believe that in the event that we have spirits and they will go onto some other realm, it's probably more of a nebulous place than a physical hell, lake, fire, everything.
Well, I hope so.
Souls
Yeah.
necessarily.
That is where you're going.
Like, I barely believe that we're even conscious. Like, I'm about to have an existential crisis up here.
I think the historical Christian position is that the gift of the invitation that God gives to the people that He made is so generous and came at such a high price. To
A high
him
price he gave up
that,
a weekend.
that
He gave up a weekend.
right,
He was gone before.
yeah.
He was gone during. He's gone now. He gave up a weekend. If I knew right now that I could go off, die, and then not die, where's the gift in that?
I'm able to look at the grace that has been extended to me, and I receive it.
I want to make sure I get a
Yes.
set.
Okay, so the way that I would commonly think of it is that if I gave up the life of my own son in exchange for your life, that it is okay then for me to make the invitation that God makes towards us.
Is that moral?
Is it moral?
Is it moral? On a corporeal level,
Jesus took on the penalty that I deserved for the sins that I committed. If we're looking at the traditional Christian faith, so I receive His gift of grace and as
It's
a
good,
payment
Manisha.
for the things.
I didn't even know you was
And,
watching.
So your question, is it moral or is it just? Is it fair? I'm able as a Christian to say no, it's not fair because I deserve the punishment that He took on Himself. Faith to me is everything. We grew up in a household of faith and learned to love Jesus and love the church and serve the church from the family that I grew up in. And so my wife and I have embraced that same life of faith, and we have taught the Christian faith to our children to understand themselves and their world because of Him and His teaching.
I believe there is a higher purpose in life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I strongly believe there's a higher purpose in life. I don't think I've found it yet, and I hope, and I would like to believe that I will one day in the journey of my life.
I completely agree. I don't know what my purpose is, and I don't think there's like a higher purpose that fits for everybody. But I mean, the idea that there's some bigger purpose has always been very comforting for me. Otherwise, what's the point of all of this?
No, I fully agree.
Everybody has a higher purpose.
I believe it's a question that we all ask.
You just have to find exactly what it is.
In my opinion,
Dedicate
so that
your
when
time
there's
to it.
times of epidemic and war,
Pandemic.
you're right, it's a better kind of war thought, that we're able to understand, even in those situations of difficulty and conflict, and anxiety and fear, that there is a higher purpose in life, and that there's more than purpose.
I trouble with the phraseology higher purpose because that denotes, do I believe God? No, but I do believe higher purpose as in love, to give, to be generous, to be kind, to help, to heal, to be there, to understand.
Phrase higher purposes. It's a loaded phrase.
I
Yeah.
struggle with
It is.
higher purpose because it's like God said,
I choose you.
I choose you, and you are going to do this thing, and you're going to continue doing this thing for the rest of your life. And I really struggle with that.
Can I just ask, I mean this with all, because I
Yeah, you
see
can't
your
offend me.
statement with that.
You literally cannot offend me. What
All right, bitch.
Just curiosity, what
You're
if everyone was
overshooting.
committed to this idea that like in the way that you expressed it? So I would say some people that are sort of
Why she look
religion,
like
I am, would say
every
that
white guy I've
in
ever
order for
seen
us to
ever?
bind together as a culture and learn to kind of work together and help cause one another to flourish, we
And
have to
one.
agree on some kind of higher purpose or a common set of principles.
I disagree. I don't really see a need for having a prescriptive purpose. I'm struggling to even see what you see as the value in saying that you have a higher purpose.
Maybe it's more of a
For yourself.
concern, right? That if everyone got up every day and said that life is all about me, and that's what. And I'm not suggesting at all that that's what you're saying about.
It is my belief. I don't mean to interrupt you. No, it is my belief that one should take care of oneself.
Yeah.
Because
I
nobody
low
else
key kind of
will.
like his fit.
People who
I'm
do
not
take care of
even gonna
themselves,
hold.
they understand that
His fit is
they're
strong.
not going to go out and cause anarchy and mayhem in the streets.
It can even be like a selfish act to help your community around you, and it's still a good thing. It's still important. It doesn't take a higher purpose to make that kind of thing happen. I was going to school with the intention to become an ordained minister in the Pentecostal church. One of the things there is
You
read
took
the
a
Bible
hard
not
left.
every day, all day, and after doing that for like several hours a day, reading the Bible through back to back several times and discussing it, I wasn't sold at all. I guess I style myself more as a skeptic and a humanist than anything, and Satanism just happens to fit really nicely in that category for me. This is actually also
Hey,
kind
look,
of like
hold on,
how
hold on. I
the
gotta
video,
pause
like,
this
my
for a
family
second.
doesn't know I'm a member.
Real talk. I want to say about 5 years ago, I think maybe a little longer than that. I did stumble across that book of Satanism, and I was reading it. I read the whole fucking book from front to back like 3 times, and they're not actually as evil as you think, but they definitely like to come across it like they are.
Member of TST. They don't know I'm a Satanist.
I believe in good and evil.
I have, as part of my own belief system, for sure, a conviction that all of our hearts can sometimes lead us to do acts of evil, and so I see it in the world around me, on both sides.
Yeah, I think the phrasing is something that's it's sort of catching. I believe in right and wrong, and I think some things for me, a lot of things lie in the gray area, but there are some things that I consider right and wrong. But I wouldn't say the same as good and evil.
That was beautifully said. That was.
But yeah, no,
Very
I
basic,
agree
yeah.
with that. But I also believe that what is right and wrong has changed throughout history, and it's something where I don't know if everyday actions that I do right now are going to be considered evil later on. Like, is driving a car going to be considered wrong?
I don't believe in an evil entity who is pitchfork and horns, looking like me. That doesn't actually happen. If you ask anybody throughout history, they're always the hero of their own novel.
Even yesterday, I went to the grocery store, and there was one person who had like more than 10 packs of toilet paper. And I do understand that when people are not going to say anything. Yeah, I do understand that he's being cautious and watching out for himself and his family. I just think the act of doing that is wrong because there were so many people who couldn't buy toilet paper.
But to him, that was right because he was looking out for his family.
Yeah, so like I said, like I was saying that I think the act is wrong, but I wouldn't say that he's evil. Like unless he has IBS or something. Some of the core beliefs of Hinduism is to believe in dharma, making sure that you have enough for yourself and also enough for other people. But Satan in Hinduism is like an assistant to God, someone who can cause disruption, but that is more for the benefit of human beings by and large.
I believe Satan is evil.
Okay, I want to know the answer to this one.
Why did you stop?
I was kind of played out in my head that I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Well, the fact that there is a Satan who is real, and the fact that he is evil is, I mean, it's an important, pretty central belief that we hold in the Christian faith, that there's a good and loving God and a Satan who is evil.
So,
Yeah, that bitch couldn't wait
let's
to
go
hop
back
on.
to Genesis, okay? God wanted to keep humans from eating the fruit of knowledge, correct? And Satan, the serpent, wanted to give humans that knowledge. I believe that's a good action. That's a good action. That's justifiable.
Is it?
Rights.
Yes. We only heard God's perspective, and from my perspective, I mean, just looking into the Bible, it's like they didn't hear Satan's perspective. Maybe he said, "This is God is a tyrannical God, and I'm going to rebel from him, and I'm going to become a fallen angel to help mankind."
My interpretation and understanding of that story is that God created an environment where he, and it was an environment of love and peace, and where his children that he created and he loved.
God also gave you the right to choose.
Yeah, and that they were. This is an environment for them to
Wait, I gotta hear.
To flourish, and so he puts them in this environment, and he desires for them to flourish and to live in unashamed relationship with him and his perfection and his glory
And stupid as God makes simple playthings because he's bored and it's real bad. And it's saying, don't do this because I don't want you on my level. If you do, I have to make sure you can't live forever, so you really don't get on my level.
Would you think that if you heard that one of your friends was having a baby? So you're just making
That's different. That's the attempt.
There are some parents who use their kids as their plaything.
Yeah. But that's how I see the same generative love that out of which God created us.
I think for me, from as much knowledge as I have about Satan, I think Satan is a symbol of freedom and liberty, right? So that is not evil. Of course, like we discussed before, if people commit wrong deeds in the name of Satan, then that's wrong.
For me, I
Yeah, his fit is funny to me.
I don't think that on his own Satan is evil. I think he's used to represent evil, whether he does or not. That's what he's used for. His character is very much used to say, like, you do something wrong, like, oh, that's an act of like the devil.
Satan represents to me taking responsibility for your own actions. It says to thirst for knowledge, for understanding, to understand that man is an animal, sometimes worse than those around. An animal.
Religion has caused more harm than good.
Oh, I have to say it's done more
Has
harm.
caused a lot of harm. Is it the ultimate source of evil? No. Ultimately, people make their own decisions, but we talk about crusades and witch trials and God hates fags and the snake.
Let him get away with that one.
And the persecution of science, the subjection of science, the arts.
I don't know that there's been a major war that hasn't been at least fueled by religion, if not directly started by it. Some of them were just political things, but they were always as a religious backing at some point that like flared the fire up and made it so much worse than it would have been.
And
He ain't lying though. That man is telling the truth.
I think religion dictates moral values for a lot of people, and the way people interpret religion has caused harm. But religion itself would never, can never cause any harm. It is meant for the good of society, the good of people.
I disagree with that.
Oh, but let her finish.
Yeah, and like I said, the way, because I don't think any God would say that okay, this child is going to burn. Like, it's probably the way people have interpreted it, or the way people tell others, the way they practice. Some people have practiced it. There is harm in religion done in the name of religion,
Quality is
but it's
true.
hard to quantify on a cost-benefit analysis kind of way, which is worse, having religion or not having religion. Religion is a form of power. It is a tool, and it reveals the worst in humanity, and it reveals the best in humanity. And you can do a lot in the name of religion, but you can also do a lot of good in the name of religion.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the power word is very important to me. I have a lot of sensitivity about that. And where Christians have used either the Bible or their own conviction to express authority over other people in a way that doesn't lead to their flourishing, I think we're in agreement on that. As a member of the Christian church, I would say that there have been great contributions of people of faith to the cause of human flourishing and through medicine and healthcare and the arts and education and all those kinds of things.
I wouldn't go about for the arts and medicine.
Yeah.
The arts, yeah, not for medicine, but for the arts, yes.
Christian art is amazing.
Beautiful artwork.
Cathedrals are
Artwork.
amazing.
Those artists were not Christian. They were
I
just
don't
hired.
care if they were hired by the church. I love it. I love Saint Sebastian portraits. I love all.
Some of the choral music is beautiful. The tradition is sometimes beautiful. There's beautiful things in it, and it can help calm someone if that is what they need. I do believe people do need rituals. I myself have rituals.
But I mean, I think religion has given a lot of people some kind of peace of mind, and I think like even if it's necessarily like, again, I guess what to you like someone believing in God, like, well, that's just not true. I wouldn't do that. I guess to me, believing in God, I don't think, and I've never ever imposed my religion on anyone around me. I use it as something like a personal relationship between me and God, and it's helped me again lots of times in those times alone, like in those dark moments, I guess, or in those happy moments, just thanking God for blessing my life, or in those dark moments, like feeling a little less alone is what it's helped. And I think I've talked to I've felt separate in that respect. I've always
You sound like you know what the fuck you
it's never
talking
something
about.
I've tried to hide. I think it's like if someone would have a conversation with me, not in an overbearing way, but it would be something that would come out very quickly in the conversation for some reason or another.
I consider myself a good person.
Overall, yes, I do.
I'm a great person.
That bitch is so
I
right.
know good and bad is objective because does everyone love me? No. There are people who absolutely wish me dead, and that's okay. Maybe I deserve it from them. I don't know. But on the other hand, I help little old ladies across the street, and I give to the poor, and I give time and energy. So is that good? In always bad.
It's that constantly striving to be better in whatever means that is, but a moving forward sense, not just staying stagnant. I'm this and I'm going to stay this way all the time.
It's an active possibility.
Completely.
Every single day.
Completely.
No, I do believe that being good is in these minute, like little actions, these micro actions that you do every single day.
I'm afraid, do you guys base it more on your intentions or more on your actions?
I think it's both, but intention is really important.
Because sometimes you do something thinking that
Intentions
are more a good thing, but it turns out to be disastrous. But as long as you had a good intention in it, I feel like it's
Like
not,
to a certain extent.
Yeah,
That's
to a
what
certain
how
extent.
many people do good things because they think that's what people expect good things to be.
Yeah, and for me, I would just hope that my faith would be borne out in acts of kindness, and mercy, and compassion, and charity. And I know that doesn't necessarily come from me, but I believe that I'm a good person because of God is good.
I think you're a good person because you're a good person. I also think you're more moral than the God of the Bible. I think you're a genuinely good person, and I think you're better than the Bible.
I think there's good in everybody. Maybe sometimes it's deep, but but I do think that at their core, everybody's a good person.
Lois, why are you a Satanist?
Well, I'm a Satanist because I originally started out as an atheist, but I wanted to
What's
find
the
more
fucking
ways to
difference?
advocacy work within a separation of church and state. And also, I think Satan is pretty cool. Thank you, Daddy. So here I am today talking about Satan.
Yo, this bitch is hilarious.
All religion.
All?
I don't respect all religion.
I respect you if you're a good person and you're doing, if you think your religion is great, but I mean, there's probably a religion out there that I'm going to say that's not okay.
I mean, I'm saying I respect all religions in the sense of the ones that I know of. I guess if
Yeah.
there's some obscure thing that I'm not aware of that really does stand for horrible things I don't agree with.
Yeah.
I think whatever you want to store your faith in, it helps you to unite.
She
with other
aggravates the
people.
fuck out of me. I just don't like the way she talks.
That helps you.
I just can't listen to her voice for more than 2 minutes for real.
In the future, to a religion that believes that is the right and the only way. I also believe I respect people and love people and believe in people's freedom to choose.
even in Islam, in the Quran, we have this one chapter. What it talks about is the respecting of other people's religions. Like, your religion is for you, and my religion is for me, and like my religion is mine, and your religion is yours. Like, that's okay in a sense. We're separate from each other, but still reaching out respect for one another.
Like, it's a platitude of all religions to say, I respect your religion. I
Oh my
respect your
God.
religion. I respect your religion. But you're all saying, oh, I respect your right to have that religion. But then internally, you're saying, Allah is the only God. Jesus is not God. Vishnu, Krishna, these are gods. These are deities. Jesus Christ is the only way. He is the answer. He is the only one. I'm right. You're all wrong. But I'm going to be nice about it.
I think that there's a difference between believing that somebody else's religion is wrong and respecting it. I feel like you can have respect and still disagree. And that's where I'm kind of coming from it. I disagree with all of you guys on your religious beliefs, but of course, everybody disagrees on their religious beliefs.
But then we all disagree with
Yeah.
each other to a certain extent.
But we can all live in harmony and we can all
respect the others.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing with everybody.
My religion.
Niggas ain't gotta get along.
I don't really follow a specific organized religion, but I do believe that at my core, my belief system is full of love for everybody and respect.
First tenet in the temple of Satan is to have compassion and empathy for all living creatures within our reasonable understanding. So
To love yourself too. I think that's I guess that always, again, that's why self-love goes both ways. Like, preach self-respect for yourself, respect your body, respect your belongings, respect your public space, respect the earth, and love all. And it's just been a guiding force for love
Good
in my
one,
life,
good
and
one.
I think it's because of the love that's rooted inside within it.
I'm curious, did you learn anything about the other side or about a specific person in this group that you didn't expect?
For me, honestly, it was more that I didn't know what to expect from it because I know a bit more about Christianity, I know a bit more about Hinduism. You don't learn about Satanism in school very much.
To be fair, not to interrupt, we three identify as Satanists, but we three also believe
Very different.
Of course. And I think that's why for me, I didn't really come in with many expectations. I was just willing and eager to hear what you had to say, hear your point of view. Our reason for doing what we do is a bit different.
That's exactly what I want to do.
People live good, happy lives.
I'm really gonna try to get into one of these interviews. Because the best thing about life is conversating with people and just getting to understand other people and other sides.
Satanism is a newer religion. I mean, the Satanic Temple, obviously, extremely new.
Yeah.
Church of Satan, as run by Anselm LaVey, is very new.
Aleister Crowley still within the last.
Pretty new, too. I mean, obviously, there's been occultism throughout the world for ages and ages and ages, but we have the benefit of coming in with these progressive ideologies.
I wonder if Church of Satan members have the legal right
Light of the coronavirus,
to withhold any
or
property.
hugs or anything like that. But in your own
Like,
way,
I don't see any
express
churches like that.
affection to each other as a group.
I just wonder if they legally
Oh,
can
yes,
do
that's a
that.
good question. That's a very good one.
Alright, that's just done. We about to do one more. Find a good one, too. I'm really looking up shit that I would want to know. Shit that I want to know more about. What is, is it okay to date multiple people?
Let's just say your girlfriend goes out for a couple of weeks. What do you do when you feel see?
Hey, look at young Afro. Afro Samurai.
You're hungry for some human meat.
Oh, this about to be good. They got a glass in the middle. Real social distancing. Why the fuck would you be talking to children about
How old
this?
are you?
I am 10.
You're 10. So are you going into 5th grade? Yeah. Do you know who your teacher is going to be this year? Oh, I just started already. You started already? Yeah. How old are you, Ty?
Well, I like your tattoo.
Which one?
My neighbor Totoro.
You know my neighbor Totoro?
No.
My name is Shawan. I'm 5 years old.
You're 5? When's your birthday?
Yo, some of this shit be seeming scripted. There's no way in hell
So
a 5-year-old
today
wants to
I'm gonna
know
talk to you
about
about
poly
polyamory. Have you ever heard about
relationships.
that before?
Polyamory, it's where you like have either 2 boyfriends or 2 girlfriends like that, or you have more.
Basically.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Even if I
can't
have
do
a
that
boyfriend
shit,
or a
bro.
girlfriend, that I am open to the possibility of connecting with somebody else.
That husband or that husband, I don't get it.
Like an example I like to give when I talk about polyamory is, do you have a favorite food?
I like pizza a lot.
You can't decide. Perfect example, right? Give me your top 3 favorite foods.
Can I give restaurants?
Sure, yeah.
In-N-Out, Chipotle, and
This nigga's cool as shit.
Chili's.
Okay, awesome. Polyamory is saying, great, it's amazing that you love all of those restaurants, and you probably love them for all like different reasons, right? Whereas monogamy is like, you can only eat at In-N-Out for the rest of your life, and you can never have another restaurant again.
Even though it's just food.
Yo, he's gonna be the smart ass of this show.
I
For
feel
real.
like if you do get, like, let's say 2 boyfriends, the
This
other
nigga
boyfriend
came
would
prepared.
get jealous. Or if you say the other bit, the other boyfriend would get jealous.
That's a really good point, and that does actually happen. I don't have to be equally in love with everybody, right? Maybe you're at school and you want to play with your best friend, but then maybe the next day somebody who you've never played with before invites you over to the swing set. Your best friend, she might be jealous, but that doesn't mean that you don't love her anymore, that you don't want to play with her ever again.
So is it basically this tribe
What?
love hexagon or something?
Sometimes that works for people in polyamorous relationships. Like, you might have 3 people who are all in a relationship together.
But what if he ends up catching more feelings for her than you? Yeah, you're not good for me anymore. Me and Susie, who I met last night, which you allowed me to date, yeah, we're leaving.
That's absolutely a possibility.
Yo, he's
Everybody
a
is
ass.
allowed to follow their heart in a way that makes sense to them. So even though it would be painful that my partner might have stronger feelings for somebody else, I would want them to do whatever made them happiest.
Bullshit. Yeah, he knows
What
that's
made
bullshit
you
too.
want to date and go freaky with him?
It wasn't like a lightning bolt from God and all of a sudden I knew, but it was like, I want to allow myself to be as close to my like authentic self as possible.
Okay, say you were to get pregnant, how would you know who the father was? Because you're seeing all these men.
Real
How
talk.
could you keep track? Would you just go to worker number 1? Are you the father? Take a DNA test. Nope. Okay. Worker number 69,400. Are you the boyfriend? No. Okay.
Yo, he's
That's
low key
all.
frying the shit out
Well,
of
for
this
me
bitch. She don't even
personally, if I'm
understand.
going to get pregnant, it's going to be a very intentional, purposeful thing. And at that point, I would probably just want to focus on the one person that I would want to have a family with.
He didn't answer his question.
Alright.
Completely went around that motherfucker.
Does that make sense?
No.
Yeah. Well, thanks for your time. Bye.
That girl is traumatized.
Enjoy your
You have traumatized that child.
Bye.
That's my guy. That's my fucking guy.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm Evan. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
So how's
Hello,
it going
Evan.
today? Like, do you have any thoughts on kind of like monogamy or polyamory?
Yeah, I say monogamy is not bad.
Monogamy's not, but why don't you think it's bad?
Like, it's not bad. Yeah, like, yeah, it's good.
I am leaning on the other side on being free to choose.
He just wants to
To
fuck.
have many partners.
He just want to fuck some.
Why do you say that?
Because you just don't want to lock yourself up with one person and say, bam, that's your wife. Great. Now don't do anything else. You must
Now, you
only
say
love
that now,
her.
young boy.
You must only be with her forever.
That is intense. Do you have a favorite Disney princess?
Who is it?
I have lots of them, like Cinderella, Ariel, Belle.
Why is she on here?
Just one prince.
Where is her parents?
Yeah. And that's kind of what like makes it so amazing is that like Belle finds her one prince. It wouldn't really be the same thing if Belle had like 5 princes.
Well, back then, princes were just laying the fuck around like cigarettes.
How many girls have you dated? And how many times have you watched Netflix and chilled with them?
Answer the question.
What percent? The other thing. Well, I don't know how to say it.
Do you think that it's good that your parents are monogamous?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think like your mom would like it if your dad had another girlfriend?
But what if he does,
High
Alex?
10s, high 100s.
He might have a whole other family on the other side of town.
More than 2, less than 100.
It's still making shit work. That's how it used to be back in the 70s.
See these just in movies?
Back in the 70s, niggas had families on each side of the city and came home each night to each family.
There is something about having like one singular part or one person you can truly depend on that actually kind of help like simplifies everything because it's about that stability and about that person who you know no matter what happens in your life that they will be there for you.
Who's Justin Timberlake look like? These niggas not saying shit.
It's narrow enough.
Right?
It's narrow enough.
Are you bored with one girlfriend?
No, because, you know, like my girlfriend's my princess, and just like Beast never gets bored of Belle, I never get bored of my girlfriend. Do you want to get married someday?
That's if I ever get married.
If
First, I'm going to work on trying to get a girlfriend.
He's going to have so many kids in college.
I have to work on getting one first before I try to get more.
Let's just say I think you're going to get a girl. So once you have this girlfriend, are you cool with like her having another boyfriend?
As long as she's cool with me having another girl.
You don't think that like you would feel jealous if she was like kissing another dude?
Well, as long as she doesn't feel jealous that I'm kissing another girl. But I have to ask you a question.
Sure.
If monogamy is so great, then how come the divorce rates are so high?
Ooh, go ahead and answer that. That's a layered question, though.
I don't want to be with you anymore. Take the dog, okay?
There's a bunch of different reasons why people go through divorce.
That's a really great question, but like I think it's usually
doesn't necessarily mean that.
And looking at people who have been
It's a layered
divorced, like
question.
it's not just because someone like wants another partner. There's like a lot of reasons why people might get divorced.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Well, what's your favorite?
Then give them a reason.
Name a favorite restaurant.
My favorite restaurant is Terra in Italy, and I would eat there 7 days a week.
If you were to only eat there,
He threw that shit in just to try to prove a point.
You wouldn't.
No, but people aren't inanimate objects that provide calories like food, so I don't quite
It's
see
a
it.
metaphor, Jimmy. It's a metaphor.
It's a good metaphor.
This kid.
Well, to make it
This little
delicious
nigga,
and
bro.
full circle meal, you have to have several things on it, correct? For some guidelines, you must have your grains, which could be a girlfriend. You could have your vegetables, which could be another girlfriend. And then 50% protein, which could be your wife. The other
He's
thing
worried
on the
about his
side
vegetables.
could be,
You get an A for effort, my boy.
another girlfriend. It takes many pieces of the pie to create one dish.
When it comes to food, that's true. But
Let's just say your girlfriend goes out for a couple of weeks. What do you do when you feel a lustful feeling, let's say? What do you do? You're hungry. You're hungry for some human meat.
absence makes the heart grow fonder. I would fast, and then that meal would be even more delicious once I finally had it.
But what if she is somewhere off getting her human meat from someone else and making a mukbang video?
Well, assuming you don't literally mean she's a cannibal, that would no, of course not. That would cause some other issues.
Savages here.
You know, I have a lot of confidence in the nutrition that I provide. Once you go to the buffet, and once you like pick out, like you might get sick, and then maybe you'll change your mind. But look, you haven't even had a girlfriend yet. Monogamy doesn't mean you only eat one thing to start. It means you try everything, and then you settle on your favorite food. Anything else?
So you're basically saying go be poly until you're done being the hoe.
See?
Okay. I get it.
I almost made him break, but we ran out of time.
Okay, cool. This shit. Nah, I do not want to hear this bitch talk again. Is it almost over? That's a lot.
Even though it's good to have more than one person in your life, I feel like when you love someone, you just love that one person.
Goddamn right, little Susie. What her fucking name is.
A lot of friends, that's okay, but for a boyfriend,
Where are your parents?
a little bit silly if you have a lot of boyfriends.
Where is your
I'm
family?
undecided because I choose both. I would rather choose my palate
I love this
and
nigga.
taste other
You're
different
going
types
places,
of
my boy.
and then settle on one.
What did you say at the end there?
And then settle on one.
One more time?
No problem.
Come on over, Ty!
Hey, that doesn't mean that I still can't taste other foods when I'm having my entree, because it's kind of like eating that yogurt land. When you're still eating, you can still sneak on over to the side and add a little more to your dish. I can't cut this shirt in half, so
This
I'll
nigga's
just put it
stupid.
right there. Do I have to? I'm ready.
Yeah. That nigga dramatic as fuck. Wow.
Because why do I have to choose when I can just
Which I think that's technically polygamy. Just saying.
I hate him.
I disagree. I think that it's monogamy. It's like dating and then settling on one.
You guys sound like politicians. I'd rather end in a tie.
But if you have 5 boyfriends on Valentine's Day, you would get 5 boxes of chocolate.
That's too much.
Yo.
Respect your choice.
Yo, she got it right
As
though.
you get older, you're going to
In the
see
grand
that
scheme
you
of
have the
things,
opportunity to
she's
make whatever
absolutely
choice
right.
makes you happy. And if
Too
monogamy
much
makes
is
you
too
happy,
much.
that's okay. And if polyamory makes you happy, that's okay too.
I think something that's really interesting is that like when I made my arguments, I didn't have to really like explain anything other than point out like the parents, and I could reference Disney or anything else that just like reinforces monogamy, and I did that, and that was manipulative in my strategy.
You
But I
goddamn
think
right
it's
it
really
was, and
important
it's
to be
a
just
bit
aware
creepy.
of like how strong that influence is.
Thank you. Regardless of where the kids stand today, I think it's important for them to know that an alternative to that narrative exists.
It's kind of like both sides are like yin and yang. The chaos and the good, and the good and the chaos.
This nigga sounds like a black joker.
Bye. See ya.
This nigga sounds like the black joker. Alright, y'all, we done.
Hi everyone, thank you for watching this episode.
I'm getting tired. Everybody that's been watching tonight, thank you. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel too. We're gonna do this every Wednesday. If not a couple more days, depending on how I feel about it. Alright, y'all.